I just can't imagine getting 6 feet of wet, heavy snow.
Well, I can't either. I can't either. I had a friend that lived in Buffalo, and he was a kid
Yeah.
when he lived there. And he said, I swear to you that we had to shovel 20 feet of snow. And he said going into their front door, there was actually a tunnel that they had shoveled and created.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's Finance Committee meeting. My members are Dean Holland and Amy May, and my alternate is Cheryl Ramos, and I am the chair. Keep it up. Okay, the purpose for our meeting this evening is to review and get a budget for the 2023 year. We're going to just go back to the courts. The courts sent an email to the auditor and corrected the line items where the money was. Beth, could you just give us the line item number?
What page is that?
She's going to tell us here in a second what line item we're going to go to.
Sealocks? Well, it was out of funds. Let me look at that email.
Okay.
They've already put it in there. Oh, there it is.
I'll tell you what page you're on.
200,000 from special projects, which is Fund 245. 30,000 from payment plan, Fund 253. And 75,000 from Sealocks, which is 254.
Okay. 200,000, 245?
Yes, and all this is in the capital line then.
Okay. 253, what'd you have?
30,000,
And 75,000 then out of 254.
yes.
Okay. Everybody can show that correction or adjustment. Okay. We'll pick up here on page 30, Police and Fire Pension Fund.
That one is probably blank, isn't it?
It's zero, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to be, because I fixed that today. In the police line, it needs to be 400,000. And then the fire line, it needs to be 600,000.
Okay. So, police is 400,000. And fire is 600,000. Cheryl, we're on page 30
Got it, thank you.
at the top. Beth said appropriations need to be on 265, 5,900, 8010, 400,000, and 8020, 600,000.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Okay. 8010 is 400,000. 8020 is 600,000. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Sure, sure.
That, thing that, the mayor sent out a call to action that was before the,
We haven't heard yet.
haven't heard, what was the percentage increase? I didn't read the bill, so,
It's gonna go, it would go up incrementally, and I'd have to look at that again, but we'd end up paying 26%. With police, we only pay 19.5 right now. Fire is 24. And I think they both go to 26.
26, right.
26. Thank you.
You okay then? Okay, while you were out, the correction on the courts for their projects. There's 200,000 in line item 245, 30,000 out of 253, and 75.
Yeah, wait a minute, slow up. Sorry. 240, you said?
245.
sorry. Okay, 245 was the asbestos, right? 200,000?
She's putting 200,000, it's gonna be all broken up, but it's all going for her projects. All three
Okay,
of her
yeah,
projects. I'm just showing you how she broke up the money, okay? So you can see where the dollars go, okay? So for line item 245, out of it is 200,000. Out of 253 is 30,000. Then out of 254, which is a C-LOX, is 75,000.
So they're only taking out of all that, out of all their projects, only,
That was the money
The
that needed to be added.
75,000.
That had to be straightened out from the previous, which had the wrong line items. Cheryl, all the money's there, it just had to be corrected what line item it's in, okay?
well, they put it in this list right here, right?
That is incorrect. Beth adjusted it after talking with Judy. I had Judy send her an email.
No, it was already in there.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Well, I
did
told
not.
her, she told me she was gonna send you an email to make sure where it was supposed to be, but she says it's already there,
To me, it looks like it's in there.
okay?
So my question originally was if all of it could come out of the C-LOX money, because I thought that's what that was originally there for, repairs, et cetera.
Jimmy's killing me.
But only 75,000 is coming out of C-LOX.
Addition, I think the addition that she needed to correct what was on the thing of this. Her whole project turns out to be, looks to me like 212,000.
So only 75,000 is coming out of C-LOX.
That's what, that's what she, that's what
That's
the
what she told me.
judge put in to do. Okay? All right. Back to where we're at, Beth, then. Police Law Enforcement Fund, you have 0.
You never know. Unless they get money in there, they can only use it for specific things.
Is it something we can correct throughout the year?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Then I don't see that's an issue. 275, local fiscal recovery.
That 900,000 for next year is only if we do not have everything encumbered this year. We've gotten all the funds,
Okay.
but, I'm not sure where we will be on the spending before the year is up. That's-
Yeah, Cheryl?
So what comes out of that money?
It's all been water and sewer, or, yeah, water and sewer projects.
Right, infrastructure,
Infrastructure?
yes.
So that isn't any money we're getting next year.
That will all go towards the Franklin Square Storm Sewer project.
Okay. $285, sidewalk improvement fund. 40,000.
Yeah, which that means, we, 20 for the residents, but we have to show it all.
Right, and you have to
Yep.
show it on, and as you,
Yep, yep,
okay. CHIP program income fund. It's 50, right, Ronnie?
yep, yep. That's all grant,
Right.
it's all through. Yep, sorry.
Okay, small city block grant fund, we show 0.
Yeah, I don't, we're not gonna have a project next year.
No, there won't be any small cities.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
You got 150,
Do the CDBG, I thought you had, we won't do a CDBG next year, no.
Right. But we will do small cities.
Yeah, we got the paving, but we put that somewhere, you put that somewhere else. Forget that. You
okay,
put
so
that
it'll
somewhere-
stay 0 for this year?
That'll stay 0, yes,
Okay.
yes, because we did put that somewhere.
Well, actually, maybe we should make
You
it
wanna
like
put it there?
50,000 in case we haven't spent all the grant before the end of the year and it's
Oh,
uncovered.
I'm glad you said that, Beth, yes, because, we did only spend, we have like 33,000, so they're gonna go up and go up onto where they was this year, on Second Street, northeast, and go from Minnick on the east side and work their way south as far as they can on that 35,000, so we do have some left. I'm glad you said that.
So, do we
Make
think
it
it's? go-
50, because I don't know that we paid all the
50?
bills yet this year, so.
Okay, so we'll put that 50,000,
Yes.
okay? And that has to be used for those
Yeah,
type of
it's
projects?
just right there,
Right.
yep. And we've already, same contractor's already said he'll come back as soon as
Okay,
weather breaks and he'll start that.
okay. The CHIP grant has 500,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Water Improvement Fund, you have 400,000. You have projects for that, Ron?
Let me find that real quick.
Because most of the water improvement funds are to be determined, so that's why,
Yeah, and actually, it's a good time to talk about it. The superintendent has a bunch of different ones down here, but I can tell you that, we're getting prices, well, we're engineering some things right now to, three months ago when I reported about the water line that runs underneath, 250, it's encased in a vault. We're getting prices now to, more of that across. And we gotta go up to,
which
gotta go to
250,
16.
Ron, which 250 you're talking about? You're talking about on the south side or at the far east end?
No, right there right from the water plant.
Okay, the line that
That
goes,
one there.
which broke
Yeah,
before?
yeah.
Okay,
So what we got to do there, ODOT's making us go, the heavier duty pipe because it's under 250. So we got to go to 16, which shrinks the inside diameter. But it's a 12 that goes there now, we've got to go 16. And then we need to fill that with a low density concrete. So actually, these projects, you might get one or two of the 2-inch ones done, but the big project will end up being the 250, because if everybody remembers, it's been twice now in the last 2.5 years. So we inspected it all the last time, and you could tell the parts that were redone that wasn't under 250 until they encased it, and it's pitted and
okay.
shot.
Is the going down to the river, is that, have you looked into that pipe there?
We're at,
That goes under the river there, into the river?
well, this is gonna be phase one, and then we're gonna
You
run
will
that,
do- you're
yeah,
gonna-
but that's another, we just looked at last week, 697 feet, because we wanna get past, there's a valve there that works right outside of there that's no good, so we're gonna go
Correct.
past that too.
Yeah,
But, yeah, just to do this, I mean, we're looking at, right now, once we fill in the thing, 360 probably,
okay,
that's just early numbers.
yeah.
But yeah, definitely, that'll all be, at one time, it's gotta be, plastic.
Because those pilings is what's holding that line in place right now,
Right,
in the river. So-
right. Fortunately, we haven't had anything there, but it's reared its ugly head twice in that bowl.
Don't jinx yourself here.
No. So these projects he has down, well, he does have the first one down, he does have the 251 down, but, yeah, that'll probably be about the end of his projects.
Mr. Holland had a question about the pipe. If you know where the maintenance garage is, down next to the river, it runs almost right in front of the storage of the sand and gravel and that. It goes into the river and then goes all the way over to Blake. It goes over. The piece that's in the river, when it was installed, they installed piling to hold that water line in place so the river won't push it down the river. That's been quite a few years, because that's on the original
Yeah.
plans
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
That's the pipe, I was seeing if he was gonna try to replace that, because I know the valves are bad there, they've
Yeah.
been bad.
Oh, they have.
They've been bad whenever Ralph was there. So, I mean, so we're talking 25, 30 years ago, very
Right.
bad, easy. More like 40 or 50 years ago,
You'd probably say you're right, about 4
Yeah.
or 5 years.
so.
Yeah. But Dean, or Mr. Hahn, I'm sorry. If you ever go down Blake, where it comes out and makes that sharp turn, if you got out of your vehicle and went right there's a vault right there. That's where it comes up a little bit and then starts leveling out and starts feeding the system there. Right there. So we'll go from, again, on the other side of 250 over, and then again, the problem is, it's roughly $90,000 just to fill that vault up with cement.
Yeah.
Because we're eliminating that vault, and NODOT
Could make you feel
won't let us
the void-
slide
make
a
you feel
year or
the void,
nothing.
Yeah,
So,
and concrete's not the easiest thing right now to.
no, you're gonna allow so much Portland, and so many yards allowed to get.
Right.
But they did say that they're gonna let us come in and access, ditch in the center of 250 there and work it each way, so.
Okay.
We're still working on that, but.
Beth, you're okay with that 400,000 with the
Yes.
carryovers? Okay. Sewer
Yeah, I can
improvement?
estimate those carryovers, because we,
I know you did, yeah, okay. The sewer improvement fund, 600,000. I'm sure that's part of the other big projects you have going with that, Ron.
Yeah,
That's-
the, grit and grease building down there, Brian needs to rehab that. That's been on the original, when it first came in. It was a terrible building when it was built.
Are these dollar amounts engineered costs, or are they rough ones that Brian put together?
Right now, it's just
What
rough
he-
costs.
Okay, he figured out what he's been doing, okay.
Yeah, so he's got, and then, so on that, in the 350, he's got roughly the grit and grease building rehab, but he's also got the filter press rehab, which the filter press also came in an original 20-something years ago, and I got 22 years ago. I know we're gonna doing our last payment, so 22 years ago. So, grit and grease building rehab and the filter press. Press rehab is right around 105, so
Okay.
he's got 250 for up at the grit and grease building. Anybody been down to that building has been a headache from day one. It's not made for cold weather. We had to put a canopy over it. It goes down and gets the grit and grease out, well, it just freezes, thaw, but we're gonna try to take care of one.
And Beth, you're good with that too?
yes. I
Yes,
think
Mr.
those
Hall.
ending balances will be higher than estimated.
Mr. Holland has a question.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I had discussed with you months ago, the only way that we're ever truly going to make Tuscarawas recreational lake, or recreational river, is by moving that sewer line at AEP. I still want you to consider putting that up on the top of your list and discussing and realizing that's gonna cost a lot of money to
Yeah.
move that line.
Yep, well, we'll put it on the list for next year, Mr. Hall. Because I would agree with you there.
Okay. Fire station bond. Those look. Anybody have any questions about them? I'm pretty sure they're just set in stone, we just follow
Yeah,
our paper.
higher,
Payment schedule.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Hangar construction debt fund. Just a question, are all those leased out, all those?
Yeah, from
Yep.
day one.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There's actually a list
Yeah, he's starting
He's
another
got
one.
to
to build
so
another.
He'll probably be back.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, if they're
We
gonna
can fill it.
if
Do
you can
it.
fill it, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
OPWC,
Yep, we'll have both those projects going.
Is that
580,
enough?
is 580?
Is that
It's
enough?
300,000.
Sorry.
You got 588,
580.
580, excuse me.
Yeah, because, Glen Drive, OPWC, and we'll still be finishing up some of the, Park Lane.
Lane.
Also, OPWC, yeah, that's good, that's fine, that's plenty, yep, that's good.
Okay.
Those are the two. I just thinking we're
I've
I've got another one in for the phase two, but we won't hear back from that until next council meeting. I should be able to bring something up on that.
Mr. McAvoy, we can adjust these. I just
Right.
want to get that we're covered for what
No, we are.
we think. We
Yeah,
can
we are.
adjust as you need. As all of us sitting here, we know expenditures are going up enormously.
Yeah.
I just think it's important we can get our budget in for this year so we can get going without making that one of our hurdles
Yeah.
that delays. If we do have an opportunity to get a project done, we can move. That's my biggest thing about the
No, yeah,
budget. being done.
that'll be plenty. That's good. That's a good number. Good
Okay.
strategy. That'll work.
Fire capital equipment fund,
That's a debt we know about.
Mr. Poppy, you good with that?
When we get that money for the ladder truck, council will have to tell me to put it there, but that's not gonna show yet until we actually do that.
Do we need to have legislation for the sale of that fire truck?
I would recommend we do.
Better have a paper trail on it.
So
Yeah.
if that is that something we can discuss in my committee meeting tonight so you can get the legislation together?
Sure.
With the proceeds going into this fund, 420.
Is that where you'd like them to go, Beth? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to try to get the budget done first.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
We'll come
think that's,
back.
but we can, I think it's,
Come back to
that's, council should approve any sales of any equipment or property in the city. So I think we just do it the right way. We
Yeah.
Put it, would be an ordinance, or would be a resolution? Probably ordinance, huh, because it's a sale.
It's a sale, right?
Yeah.
It's not we're not buying something where we have to say that it's coming out of such and such fund.
It's just a sale, but it's,
I think we
yeah.
need to do a resolution approving
Okay.
it.
all right.
Yeah.
She wants that money to go into 420, and that's 299,000. Is there a commission we have to pay or anything? on that?
Yes.
Yes,
Do you know what that commission would be?
not right off the top of my head, Mr. Chairman.
I don't remember the amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was like 30,000, but I could be totally wrong.
Could we make sure that's on the resolution, so we can say, we sold it for this, commission was this, and this is the dollars left
Break
over that will be
it, just have it broke down.
broke down for us, yeah. So I
Yeah.
think that's, so 20 years from now, when somebody's gonna go look through it, they can see where the money's went. Okay.
Maybe it was only half that, I don't remember.
I was thinking 15.
Okay, well, we're selling it through a broker, so they're getting some money.
Just so the ordinance, the resolution can show proper. Okay?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Sure.
This is where all the new ladder truck is coming out of, right?
That's 100,000 of it, yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's 100,000 of that 185, yes.
Okay, so what line item is the new one coming? I know we're borrowing money from that, for that.
It's coming out of Fund 420, line 6100.
She's just showing a payment there, Cheryl,
Right.
not the
So
total.
that, the payment we've got there is for, because
We're still
paying on another fire truck, aren't
Yeah, on the engine.
we? So that's what this payment indicates, right?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Holland.
Did I understand correctly that we're paying a brokerage fee to a broker who is purchasing the unit?
I'll be selling.
Selling it.
He sold it.
Yeah,
He
he's,
sold it.
go ahead, Greg.
He was like the salesperson.
Okay.
It's a brokerage firm, and the chief contacted them, and then they put out the flyers
Solicit,
took care of the advertising and and made the contact and that kind of stuff,
Well,
so.
I just want to be sure I understood that we
Yeah.
weren't paying a broker to buy it.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, the broker to get us a really good deal,
Thank
actually.
you.
Yeah, I think we did well, as I said, just
Yeah, something that's
take
not
care of the
working.
housekeeping, so it's all, okay. ODOT projects, 435, 7,700, 1.3 million.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and that's what he was talking about with the small cities. It's actually a small cities grant through ODOT, and what that does is that's all for the paving that we're getting
Okay.
done next year, which I think I went over, I'm gonna mess it up with roads, but it's Mill Avenue, it's Wabash Avenue from, 4th Street to Tusk, Mill Avenue from Broadway to 7th. We have a little stretch up on Ray Avenue, Ray Avenue Northeast from Beaver Avenue to North Broadway, and then we have 16th Street coming in town,
Okay,
which is, we have the 5% of that,
okay.
yeah.
Any questions about the paving projects that money's coming for? Okay. Master capital improvements, 437. Mr. McAdoo, you talked about the restrooms, you talked about the equipment, trucks, new roof and dining hall,
Oh,
the
yeah.
diving boards, and then the mayor talked about the renovation for the Tuscarora Park Field #1 scoreboard. Mayor, you also talked to me about renovating some of the restrooms over by the pool area too.
Right.
Has that been,
We haven't got a cost estimate on that at this point.
okay. As far as where that money's gonna come out, or the money to be there?
As far as the restroom wise.
Yeah, which line item is those come out, because I don't
On
see.
the restrooms, I got that as, 437, 7,700, 55204.
There's only 25,000 there, that's why I'm concerned.
Yeah, that should be actually, it should be over that, because every one of these line items that he has unless, we can ask, maybe ask Beth what maybe, because you got the 2 new dump trucks we didn't get
From
this
last
year,
year.
they're supposed to come
Right.
in. He's got that out of there, that's the 110 of that. And that replaces that 91 that everybody sees on the road that's junk, that have many of comments about. And then that 2003. And then we have another pickup truck, and that same line item for 40,000.
Okay, the 205 from last year, about what's left in that, Beth?
Yeah, because that would be all this, the new roof, and the dump trucks, the pickup truck, and the 2 new diving boards would be that.
25,000,
How much?
25 and change.
That's all that's left. So, what happened to the money for the vehicles we were gonna buy, where'd that money go?
Didn't go anywhere. I don't think we got it all anywhere, was the thing.
Okay,
I think we were just kind of talking over each other about when we got that adjusted, because we started with 205.
correct.
We've spent 164, and we have 15 encumbered. I can look and see what that is.
310, 350. I see about $400,000 there in the park.
Yeah, what you're seeing in the budget right now is the original that I got.
Okay. Okay, so if we're gonna, you want, can we put the 400 out of 5204?
Probably, but as long as Master Capital's gonna get money next year. So I would say yes.
Okay.
Okay, so change that from 25,000
To
to
400.
406,000. Though, that's what I added up.
We're just gonna do 400,000. We'll adjust, because we're gonna have to do some other adjustments with some of the things the mayor talked about. Hopefully, we can get done out to the park this year, to try to get a better place for the citizens. I mean, like I said, those restrooms have been a problem for years. And like I said, I know the vehicles is another issue. What will they cost? You know, so I think 400, Cheryl, you know, these are budget numbers. These aren't exact
Right.
yet, so.
They're guesstimates.
Right, so I think that we'll just put 400 there for now, and then I know they're gonna come back so we can get some fine tuning, okay?
So I have another question. Tuscarora Park Field 1, where's that at?
That's the big high school field, that's basically used by the high school field.
The football field?
No.
The baseball field right next to the stadium.
Baseball.
Yeah,
The one you're redoing?
the ones being renovated, yes.
Okay, I thought that foundation or your nonprofit was paying for that.
They're not paying for the whole thing, it's everybody's a partnership in this. Mr. Pace, he has planned to do a presentation at the next meeting. I can tell you, the foundation and the committee has raised almost 125,000, I'm pretty sure, with a few others. Their board members are meeting right now, okay? Haven't come back that they are going to participate.
Right.
But they are interested in participating with us in a long-term participation, not just this year. They understand it's a three-phase project. I'd rather wait till Mr. Pace does his presentation, then you can ask some more questions. But the fundraising has been going on, and there's been a couple groups that we have some grants already. The county gave us a grant. We have some money from VFW have donated. Several individuals have donated money towards the project.
The whole project?
The whole, yeah, it's doing in phase one, yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
we're budgeting for the scoreboard.
You're budgeting part of it for the
That's
scoreboard.
included in phase 1.
That's part of phase one, yes. What we're looking at, Cheryl, so you understand, the scoreboard can raise money for us by advertising. The mayor believes that, our committee believes, that is the most important part of phase one, so we can start leasing those spots, renting those spots out to have regular income starting to come in.
To go back into the city.
Back into the city, which goes back into the park to help renovate the park, which will help not just at the baseball field, all of the park. That's the most important thing the committee wanted to understand. Yes, we want to maintain the ball field, but we also want to help the other parts of the park also, so it can take some pressure off of the city. Okay? Anybody have any other questions? Okay. Airport Capital Improvement Fund, 475.
That one's gonna be a problem.
Oh,
Line 5910. We don't get that kind of money in that fund.
okay. Mr. McAbeer or Mayor?
Well, I can tell you what I have in projects coming up down there. In 23 alone. We got the taxiway shift design grant, which, if you look at the breakdown, it's 150,000 total for it. 90% FAA, 5% ODOT, 5% local. So our match is 7,500.
But we have to show all the money there, right?
Pardon?
We have to show all the money there is what we're saying?
You'll have to, yes.
Right.
And then design will take place, but the taxiway will actually do the shift construction will be next year. And again, it's a 95.5, it's a big project, it's almost $2 million. So when you look at it, we're at 99,643 to pay for it. When you're looking at $2 million and you only have to pay 100,000 for it, I'll do projects like that all day long, so that's what that's on. And And then, all we're showing on the, and anybody's been down there, the terminal building, and that's out of that grant bill funds, through some ARPA money, is, 150, or 120,000, which we owe 6,000 for that. Those improvements are needed, and that pilots come in there, they need something different to go to. And for 6,000, so, I mean, just overall, I know that we're at 120,000, but if you look at the total projects, $2.6 million worth of projects for less than 120,000.
Do we have anywhere that we can take that
It
money
would
from?
have to come from master capital is the only thing I could think of.
Okay. So,
The big chunk, Mr. Chairman, is like I say that, when we finally go to construction on that, when we shift that taxiway, you know, it's too close, we gotta get it away from the runway. I mean, like I say, it's a 1 million, and we've got it from everybody. We've got 90% from FAA, 5% from ODOT, and then 5% local. So we've did everything, we've shaped every tree and bush like we have every time. It's just a big project.
Some of those, now up in line 3402, the consulting services, some of that will go towards these grants, right?
Yeah, some of
So
it,
we're kind of doubling the amount,
a little bit,
yeah.
yeah.
But is it by the whole 30,000 or?
No, I wouldn't say. But those are the projects that are down there.
is there anywhere else you think we could take a little bit to cover? Because what do you think you need extra, Beth?
Well, we need an extra $100,000.
Yeah, I can see that. Where do you think we,
Probably, it might be 85 when we finally close the years, what we need, but
okay. Is Master Capital healthy enough that you feel you can take it from there? Or do you want to try to take it from a couple other places to equal that 85?
I don't know where else we could take it though.
Okay,
for
that's
the
what I was saying.
airport.
If there's another place that we have a project, which we don't know if it's gonna be enough, but we're allowed to use it here also, is what I'm trying to get at.
And up in Master Capital, that towpath trail is 100% grant, isn't it?
I'm sorry, Beth, we're at,
85,000, yes.
5227,
So we'll get that in as revenue also, all right.
that's 85,000 she has there.
yeah,
Right.
that's coming back.
So that's just a
That's all
holding
coming
place
That's
for now.
just showing it, we're
Right,
not spending it.
and we're gonna get
anymore.
that back,
I mean, we have to
so-
spend it and then get it back.
So if you think that's what's about gonna be, Beth,
And let's create another line in Master Capital and call it airport.
that's what I was looking up in Master Capital for an airport line, but I didn't see.
Maybe one exists, but let's see how much would I need? I'd put 85,000 in it in Master Capital. It's just gonna be in the area, I can't give it a number yet till I see what we're using. It's gonna be like right under the park or the street or something.
Okay,
All right.
Write that down.
well, you got 4 or 5, you have 5206 open, if there is one open there, and then you have from 5207 to 5211, there, you got a gap there.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, exact number I'm not concerned about, but if you feel the money is there, and we can put it down there for now
Yeah,
to hold it,
yes,
knowing that you're gonna have a new line item which will take the relief off of that. Which puts about 48,000
Extra.
different, yeah, right. So, if you're okay,
yeah.
all right. Again, like I said, after you see what your carryover is, then we can do just a little adjustment so everybody knows how it's gonna be. Yes, Cheryl?
Just to clarify what I thought I heard, the main project is a new terminal?
No, no,
No.
Upgrade the one that's there?
absolutely. Yeah, we gotta fit in a box, as in what we're allowed to do. The restroom has to be accessible to all the pilots, it just can't be the FBO's restroom, so all that'll have to be opened up. There will be a meeting room back there for the pilots. It's in the terminal. If no one's never been down there, you need to go down there, because it needs rehab bad, horribly bad.
Is the one piece of the terminal being leased out still? That front corner?
For the massage or whatever?
Oh, no, that's been years.
Okay,
No,
Yeah.
2
no,
years ago.
At least, yeah.
okay.
Stopped doing that.
So right now, there's no other business there except for?
No,
Right.
Okay.
no, and back in there kind of where he had that's all gonna get rehabbed.
Right, that's why I was wondering if it would have any effect on the lease
Oh,
if they
no,
were still
no.
there.
It's like stepping back in the eighties when you go down there.
Yeah.
It's
Goes
neat.
earlier than that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
yes, Cheryl?
So I thought I heard you said something about the runway would need to be readjusted?
The
Taxiway.
taxiway needs shifted.
Taxiway, didn't we just fix that?
No,
No. No.
no, the taxiway that comes out
Yeah.
through.
We, we've done runway improvements,
By where the gas
lighting
tank
improvements.
is by the building.
Yeah, it needs shifted
Right.
over for wings and it's,
Yeah,
I think it's 15 feet too close, if I remember right.
yeah, it's out of spec, FAA specs, so, they're requiring us to shift it a little further away
From what?
from the runway.
It's gotta be away from the
Oh,
runway.
okay.
Yeah,
Do we have room to go back?
yeah,
Yeah,
And the FAA is paying 90% of it?
90%.
90%.
And then ODOT 5.
ODOT, Aviation 5, and then our 5.
And part of the problem was there's an area where the taxiway stops, then it's grass for X number of feet, and then it starts up again. And by shifting that over where it's supposed to be and putting in the taxiway as it should be, it eliminates that.
Correct.
Especially at night. A lot of the pilots are running off into that grass area and they're stuck, they can't move with those small aircraft. And it's just a little section there that for whatever reason was never filled in.
Yeah.
Okay. Airport Federal, 476. There's a grant for 2023 of 2.2 million. Is that where you're showing that, Ron?
I don't know what she has down. That only shows, I'm just looking at $2,263, or what is she saying? Or is that 2 million?
That's 2 million.
Oh, I'm sorry. What she did then, that's all this combined.
That's what I thought when you were mentioning those numbers.
Yep.
Those all look,
Yeah. Because you got, again, you got the 1.9, well, basically 2, then you got a 150 and a 120. So
Yeah.
she's showing it all right there.
right.
Sorry.
And that's just a holding place.
476? Yeah.
Yep, just,
That's just
for
a
the
whole-
grants.
yeah.
we're
yeah,
doing.
that's just for the grants, correct.
Okay.
So that's what will cover some of the expenses in the line item right before it, 475.
Yes.
Well, that's the federal portion. We still have our portion to pay.
Our
and that's what
portion is this.
The 5%, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to break it down easily, just go your 5% into that 2,663,000, or 2,263,000.
That's 95%.
Yeah, so 5% of that, that's what we're, and again, those numbers are, for the design phase, our local match is $7,500. That's a total of $150,000 grant. The actual construction of the taxiway shift, the whole project cost, $1,992,851. Grant of $1,793,000. local match $99,643. And then again, the terminal building improvements, $120,000 with $6,000 being our share.
Okay?
Can I ask Veronica a question?
Yes, you may.
Are we done with the 2022 project?
You should have, yeah, I believe, you might have a pay app down there yet, that you may not have done yet for the
Okay.
runway
Runway
lighting.
lighting.
You may have one.
Hopefully we'll get it in before the end.
Oh, it will be.
Oh, yeah.
It will be, yeah. But I think there's one straggler out there,
All right.
last pay app.
Okay. Water office, 7-Eleven. Any questions?
Question, I'm sorry.
Mr. Holland has a question.
Does the moving of the tower, has that been paid for?
You're talking the beacon light on top of the hill.
Yeah, that's paid for.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, and I was gonna ask, Jim's on, or Mr. Seldenwright's on the airport, right?
Yeah, he won't be here till the regular meeting.
Okay, but, we're taking it down, the old beacon, we're taking it down tomorrow to Buckeye, and they decided they're gonna do something, I think they're gonna put it in the terminal once it gets rehabbed and have it sitting there, Buckeye's signed
Yeah.
up to redo it all, so it'll be, and they're,
It'll
be
be,
on display.
you know,
But
be on display. at
The
the
actual
airport.
move and erection has already been paid for.
Yeah, that's already been paid for, correct, sorry,
I know it's operating.
yeah, yep.
Any questions about the water? Okay. Water supply, 7-Eleven, 3702, page 36. No questions? 7-Eleven, 3703, water distribution. Water replacement, 7-Eleven, 3704. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Cheryl, sorry for that.
okay, on my list here,
Yes.
we don't have costs yet, but, that's supposed to all come out as 7-Eleven 3704. Or did we, I heard, we
Yep.
talked about.
He said he had no-
Second Street, Southwest, Northeast, North Avenue. This list right here.
Yeah.
Was that when she was out of in the restroom, or where she was at?
No,
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 no.
I think what she's
Don't
saying.
have it all,
Yeah.
What
It
she's
just says
saying, not out of
TBD.
just the one fund, that we had the 400,000, the improvements, the 300, you have 310,000 in engineering 5401. She wants to know if that's where that money is coming out for those other projects.
what I have it broke out of is coming out of the 7-Eleven, 3704, 5401, I'm fine,
Yeah,
I've got that,
but we don't have any costs yet.
no,
Any ballpark?
no. And we'll just pick and choose what we can.
Yeah, correct. That's, you're only gonna spend X amount of dollars unless it's something breaks, and then
Right.
we need to adjust. That's.
Right. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
Sure, that's what I was asking, did they do engineering costs, or did the superintendents just work on the projects to try to get that done? Okay. Water sewer office,
Oops.
713. Any questions? Sewer revenue, Yes, sure.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
sorry, I'm going back.
That's okay.
Okay, so we've already talked about the grit and grease. On my list originally was 7/13/39/09, but we talked about it coming out of a 31/9/39/08.
I've got that.
So these projects are coming from different line
Thirty-five oh
items?
one, great.
I got it count of 3501, 713, 3903.
That's where the 100,000 is.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Because that's why I
3903
figured
I have.
that's why the budget is 100,000 over. I figured you put 100,000 in the maintenance and operation.
Correct. And that'll probably end up doing the filter press, and the rest of it will come out for the other line item for the grit and grease building rehab. That other previous line item we talked about.
What sewer disposal, you have 350 coming out of there. That's another additional 200,000 over there is what you have.
Say that again, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Out of sewer disposal, 713/3903, under 52,
Oops.
under 3501, maintenance operation, you put an additional 200,000 in there.
And is it also taking in the construction part of the Franklin Storm Sewer project, of 300,000?
I
That's down
can't
to
answer that. That's what, I know those are the two that show the large increase. That's why I thought you were going to cover most of your projects out of those two.
That's what, like I say, wherever we need to take it from, wherever, Beth feels we need, we have a 350 for the grit and grease building rehab, filter press rehab, and 300,000 for the Franklin Square Storm Sewer Phase 1, and a little bit on Glen Drive. We gotta remember there's some storm sanitary, or storm sewer. And then $250,000 for new SCADA system for plant and old lift station. All I did was, hey, this is where we need, and then I just let Beth kind
I
of
know,
do the thing.
she takes portions from each
Yeah.
one to pay for those type projects. As long as it's a sewer project and money's come from sewer,
Yeah,
she can figure that out, how you guys want to do that. I
It
mean,
should
I
be
get a little bit over
roughly
$1 million
1
improvement, it's what you're looking at,
yeah.
which part of that's grant money, but there's 300 and some thousand coming out of their budget also.
Should be roughly 1,020,000.
That's what I counted,
Is that what you got?
That's what I
That's
got.
what it should be.
yeah,
Whatever funds,
yep.
Is that out, okay, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Out of 713-3901, the 3501? I've only got $500 on my list here.
$500? I got 350,000 coming out of there. Yeah, I mean, Cheryl.
$3903, 7/13/3903.
So 3903, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's right, there, you gotta look at both of those to get the total amount, Cheryl.
Okay,
All
because I
right.
was looking at, I'm sorry, I was looking at my project list too, and the number on the project list, which is different than,
I was looking where
Where
the
it's
money,
coming
I was
from.
looking at where the money is at, that's all I
Okay.
looked at, okay?
all right. Would you tell me anything?
It's line 3501.
Okay,
It's a maintenance operation line item, and
I got
both,
that. So I still only have $500 in the other one. Is that right?
which line item do you have $500?
The water sewer office?
We're beyond, that's split between the water and the sewer department,
Okay,
the water office, sewer office, garbage,
okay.
yeah. Okay? I think you're crossing two things up.
Yeah, I got wrong numbers on here.
It's okay, all right, but you see where the 350,000's at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Do you have any other questions for either one of those?
Well, wait, yeah, I did, sorry.
Go ahead.
So, under equipment, 5,200, and that would be sewer revenue, 7133902. Is that where we're putting the two trucks? Right now it says 0.
Yeah, new 1-ton dump truck and a new 4x4
Okay, so
pickup.
that'd be one,
You're taking out both of 3903 and 3902, it looks like. Ron, that's what it looks like you did.
and, okay, and Franklin, I've got Franklin Square a couple places. Okay. All right, so that, all right. Okay.
You got her straight, Cheryl?
Well, not really, but she'll give us another list.
Once she sees her carryover,
Yeah.
we'll get a good, okay? All right. 713,
Good.
3904.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I have another question, sorry.
go ahead.
Back to 39, or the sewer disposal
Okay,
and utilities. At 3,100, that's going down here, shouldn't it?
I think
like, maybe
I
go
just think
up?
she's just putting a budget number there until she actually sees.
That's what I was given by the department head.
Okay.
And then they just may not be correct.
How, I mean, if you look at what the carryover is, God bless you, you may be better to see, but I think he put numbers in there that he thinks he can live with at this moment, you
Okay.
know. Brian does a pretty good job of giving you numbers, so I'm,
Yeah, it was utilities, and we all know that.
they go up and
going
down, you know.
Crazy. Okay, thank you.
Okay, 713, 3904, what is the title for that line?
I'm sorry, 713,
Yeah, just-
3904. Say what now? Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
It doesn't give a title name like, where it says like
Fund.
water sewer revenue, what is that?
Let's refer to Beth on that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let me see if it tells me.
I might be able to help with that. Because I might have a sheet out front here that says, I always have,
It doesn't have a title in the budget either, so.
personnel services? That sound right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's all personnel.
I think that's what I
well,
have.
personnel services is all of them. At the top,
says
it doesn't have a heading.
Sewer service taps,
Service,
but I don't
sewer
think-
service what?
taps, I don't think that's correct.
Tap fees?
Yeah, that's not a correct title.
Well, that's where you used to put all the tap fees, monies would go into there. But,
Sewer disposal?
well, you're paying everybody in the city somewhere, service director, special, information specialist, service director, secretary, mayor, executive assistant, HR director, auditor, administrative assistant, payroll clerk, treasurer, law director, assistant law director, PRS, workers' compensation, Medicare is all coming out of that with now the title at the top. That's why I said, it's gotta have a title to it. Like you do water, sewer revenue,
It's
water
gotta
revenue.
be something with sewer, right?
No, well,
No.
it-
713,
it was tap fees is an old line item that used to be on the books. I don't know if it's still kept there or not.
This is the way it's existed for a long time.
With no name on it?
I was gonna say, Mr. Chairman, I
We
don't
can give
populate
it one
that
now.
Yeah.
part of it,
Yeah.
so I can't help you.
Those are all non-bargaining positions, aren't they?
Yeah, but you still should have a title what the
I
top of it
understand that,
is.
I'm not, that's not.
Yeah, it looks like, yes, those are all either elected officials, appointed people. Yes.
While we're at this,
Except the payroll clerk,
you've got
it's
the
all
payroll
the
clerk in there.
administrative.
except the payroll clerk.
okay.
She would be a bargaining unit.
You know, you could call it administrative costs.
Mr. Seldenwright intends to bring up the non-bargaining positions. So there's going to be a necessary budget adjustment.
Well, that'll be after we make this budget.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to get through
I
this
just
budget.
want to point it out that that's going to happen.
That's fine. Okay, well,
Aren't
If you get
those
a name
raises already there for 23?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we already have that in place.
okay, so I'm just gonna put, there'll be a name for it. I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
Beth wants to make it,
Yeah,
just so,
Right.
Okay.
that's not, okay. Wastewater treatment plant improvement debt fund.
I believe this is our last payment.
This
On
is the last,
a couple of them go a little longer,
Yeah, but the big one,
yeah.
the big chunk is this last payment.
so is this more than you need in there,
No,
Beth? But that's what you need, okay,
No,
all
I
right,
don't think so.
okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
so that's the last payment on the water treatment plant
Waste.
Wastewater.
this year?
On the improvements, it was 20.
Years ago?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Okay.
But there's still other debt service there. I
Okay.
think you're still paying on, what, I forget,
well, there's like 5
Yeah.
for the water treatment, or the
wastewater.
wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah. We took some 0% interest loans out, and we did the grit bridge. Put the muffin monster in, so I think we're still paying for 20,000 or whatever a
Something
year.
on the clarifier, didn't we?
No, yeah, I
just as
think-
long as she says she's got the money
Yeah,
to pay the
it's
bill,
there.
that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Ambulance fund.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Cheryl?
sorry. Okay, this shows a negative balance. How, from the guest. And so I came up with approximately a $200,000 deficit for next year based on the budget figures, you know, the end of the month reports. Plus or minus. Where
We
would
might
we?
get like $650,000 in there in a year.
Okay. So it should be okay?
Yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, they might not spend the 60,000 in equipment if they get the ladder truck money put in their Fund 420.
Yes.
Because whatever equipment, because that's to outfit the new ladder truck, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, they did say something like that.
Yeah.
didn't
He
they?
So
says you need
maybe
a hundred
Some of
some
that
thousand.
will be
Those
used.
Yeah, that money was gonna go to,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I do remember that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. As-
So that budget may go down 60,000.
Right, but right now you're comfortable with those numbers, Beth?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good evening, John. Glad to have you here. Evergreen Endowment Fund. Do you need to spend any of that money, Beth?
The court, or not court, the cemetery needs to, let me see what we have in there first. We don't get any more money in there. We have 25, almost 26,000. We can put that in there. I don't know if we're gonna spend any more yet this year out of there.
I
No.
don't think so.
Mm-mm.
25,000 could go in there.
Okay, 25,000.
It's going where, I'm sorry?
Fund 814.
Evergreen
Evergreen
endowment.
Endowment. Cemetery endowment, capital, 80,000 is in the appropriation last year. You need anything over
We do
there?
get money in there.
Mm-hmm.
just a couple $100 a month, but it has a balance of 71,000 right now.
You want 25 in there also?
Are we done with big projects down there at the cemetery?
Oh. We still have to put roads in.
We do phase two, I mean, we could, I would put 25, I'd be safe if we
Yeah.
do that.
Unclaimed money, you have 40,000, I'm sure you just hold that as a number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Profit sharing lots, 82, 823. That went up
Yeah, and
$20,000 because of meters.
It's not gonna work in that fund.
Excuse me?
It will not work in that fund, that 20,000.
You want to remove that?
Yeah, but we would have to, but it should we go anywhere else?
Would that be under, Mr. Popham, is that yours?
So you're talking the 20?
Yeah, they're talking about the, the 5,200 meters. You got $20,000 there for meters.
Yes, and that's what he put that in here to continue with the program of replacing meters that are extremely old. And they're close to $1,000 a piece. So he gets 15, 18 meters to try to slowly replace all of them.
Okay, well, if you don't have the 20,000, where can we pick up 20,000 to take care of that? Is what, I think that's what Beth's more or less telling me.
Right. I don't know if there's any wiggle room in the police budget or not. Or should it be City Hall anyway?
Is that something you could put in police law enforcement fund?
No.
No? Okay.
That's confiscated money that has to be used for a specific purpose.
Is there anything we can do for now, or just take it out?
I'd say we're gonna have to take it out, yeah.
Okay. Remove the 20,000 at this time. The administration can find a place to find it. We can add it back in. Law library has $30,000. Any questions? We're all the way through it. We have about a $3 million additional in our budget this year, which is about 10% increase.
We do need to revisit one fund. I sent out an email today.
Okay?
Fund 235, which is on page 21. Those are electric bills for all our street lights and traffic lights and things like that, and those have really gone up.
Okay.
And they're going up every month, month over month. We're gonna need to make that $300,000.
And the extra money to pay that, Beth, you plan on getting it from
That is all income tax money.
income tax? Okay.
If we don't have to pay the bill, I don't have to, I mean, if there isn't a bill to pay, we don't have to put the income tax money in there.
Okay.
And it's gonna need to be corrected for this year
This
yet
year,
too.
yeah.
So you need money for this year?
But, and I'll have a
Yep.
final appropriation ordinance for the next meeting.
Okay, I would, yeah, recommend that because there's no way we're gonna be able to pass on the last meeting of the year. So if there is anything administration needs done, I don't think we have enough to suspend rules. So. What my idea is tonight, direct the law director to draw up the appropriate legislation for next meeting and to suspend the rules on the budget and pass it at next meeting to assure we have enough people. Otherwise, we'll have to have special meetings to carry this through, so we don't have to have no money for the beginning of the year and shut the city down. So
Mr. Chairman, this is a final budget, not a temporary one, right?
this is fine, this is a full budget. With the understanding, we all understand that we are using numbers from the auditor and the department heads, the mayor and law director, not law director, service director and safety director to create this budget with the understanding that it may be added to, but it also may be taken away from. The auditor feels she's comfortable with the dollar amount she put on this. It's so we can get going in our next year. So if we do get a chance on something, make a better financial, that we can do some savings because we do have a permanent budget, and I want to allow the administration to be able to do that. I don't want to hold something up or have to have a special meeting to do a purchase or get a project going, that if we can save some money, we can take advantage of that. Yes, Cheryl?
Question for Beth, thank you. Will we have since we changed some numbers in here, will we have a new
Yeah.
printout?
And I'll
That
have
we
the
can look at.
attachment for the ordinance too. And so Kelly, you're gonna have another finance meeting next meeting to go over this 2022 appropriation?
Yes,
adjustment?
yeah, you can have that there, okay.
Let me double check.
Yes. I think that you'd have to check right there with that. The question is, the labor contracts, were those retroactive?
Yes,
Okay, then there would be an impact of non-bargaining to go back and adjust that.
It's already done.
if council so desires, yeah.
Don't we already have that chart? It's got a 2023
Yeah,
price list
but
on
I
it.
think,
And that's not in
Councilman Holland's
connection with the
thinking down the
union.
road beyond that.
Well, it is. It directly is because you're adjusting the bargaining units upward and again, creating that condensed pay scale. And the only way to adjust that would be to adjust those numbers for this year and make them radioactive, make them retroactive. There's no other way to do that.
But those raises
Yeah.
were, some of them were 9% already for this year, 2022. Oh, I got my wrong list here.
But that was just to make them fall in line with what we were, to get them where they needed to be.
This, I'm gonna hold this, I'm stopping. This is not gonna affect our budget for this year. Whatever comes up from the safety, we will look at that time. I am not screwing this budget up and getting this thing passed on any issue. We have plenty of time to add anything and discuss in future meetings. That, Mr. Sellenwright needs to be here, he needs to have his meeting, whatever he wants to present to council, that's his committees. And Mr. Holland, and I'm on that committee also, that can be done at that time. But we're worried about a budget for this whole city, not just salaries for individuals. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what this meeting here is, tonight is about. So with that said, I have reviewed the whole budget with council as a whole. The auditor has said she's comfortable with the numbers we have to approve a budget for the year, fiscal year 2023. I would like to have a motion that we can address the law director to draw up the proper legislation for the next meeting. So we can have a special, not a special meeting, but we can have the meeting had read, and we can suspend the rules and pass on first reading at the first meeting in December.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Take a vote. Mr. Holland,
Yes.
Mrs. May,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. Okay. The only other issue to come about in front of us is that you wanted to, but for the fire truck, do we need to do that in the meeting here to have legislation brought up for that?
Yeah, you can make a motion. to
Okay.
that. Just to
Okay,
approve
the
the
other
sale of the
issue,
fire truck.
the city sold the fire truck to another city, I take it, Mayor?
It was in Missouri, Greg?
Missouri or Kansas?
Kansas,
Kansas,
yeah.
I think.
And I feel we need the proper legislation to allow that sale to go through, for council to approve that monies to be accepted for that piece of equipment. So I would entertain, if we have no discussion, entertain a motion to have the law director draw up the resolution with the proper breakdown of the sale of that piece of equipment, and have it deposited into the line item that the auditor asked is 420.
I have a question. Will that have to be passed on emergency before we accept the money?
When's that final sale
Well,
done?
The ladder is being repaired, a new, part for the hydraulic pump. I don't, is it in yet?
No, I've,
It's not in yet.
I've not heard that it is.
But we have to have it has to be in good repair before we sell it.
So we got that.
So, hopefully that'll be happening this month. That part will come in, the pump will be fixed, and it'll be ready to sell.
Do you have an expect date that that would be repaired by, Mr. Popan?
No, we're waiting on the part.
Okay. Do you feel we can hold that, we could put it on have the legislation brought up, put it on, but not pass it until they know they're gonna do it before our meetings, one of our meetings? So it could go several readings, okay? My committee, do you have any questions about fire truck sales or what we need to do?
No, but we're gonna leave that on, I mean, say 10 readings
I
if
don't-
it's back
Yeah,
ordered.
I would say we would leave it on until, yeah, we know, or we can do our 3 readings and say approve the sale. We know the dollar amount, correct? The
Yeah.
dollar amount's not changing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it would be better just to pass it then than leave it on there until who knows when.
When it comes up, we can suspend the rules and do it. Just I need to get a motion here
I'll
to
make
get it out
that
of committee.
motion.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is have the law director draw up the resolution for the sale of the fire truck.
Got it.
Okay?
And I'll second that motion.
Okay. A vote, Mrs. May,
Yes.
Mr. Holland,
Yes.
and I vote yes also.
Oh, it's Dan.
Is there any other matter to come forward? Hear none, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Meeting adjourned at 6:48.
Sorry, man, I just didn't even look back.
Hey, they got,
Yeah.
they
Okay,
got
we
the
will call
massage
the
guy
special
coming back, it
contact
might be
meeting to
okay.
order. My committee members are myself, Cheryl Ramos, Jim Selden-Wright, and alternate Dean Holland. So the purpose of the meeting is just to review proposed resolution 37-2022 regarding support of maintaining WDNP 102.3 FM as a local nonprofit community radio station. And the representatives for the radio station, I understand, were here last council meeting to go over what was going on with the bids that were out for their frequency. My understanding is he explained it well. I also spoke to him on the phone, and he explained the same to me. So does anybody have any questions regarding the proposed resolution or?
Just a comment, that would need to be passed tonight.
Yes. It has to
meet
be
the
in.
December 8th deadline,
Yes.
because we will not have another council meeting before then.
Mrs. Ramos?
So just to review, this is a resolution that we're sending off to the FCC.
Yes,
Correct,
to,
because-
just to state that we are against them bidding for, having an auction for this frequency, and that we believe that this radio station is a local radio station and should be able to, we're for this radio station keeping that frequency rather than having an auction for it. We're just saying that we give our support for it.
I guess, I don't listen to that station, but that's fine. I would support it, but I just think that that's between them and the FCC, and we shouldn't get involved.
Not really, it's a matter of public commentary at this point.
Right, and that's what,
Right.
It's a
It's open to-
nonprofit radio, it's not.
So individuals that might have more weight if people wrote individual letters or comments
And
to the
they-
FCC.
and they have requested that, and they've had many people sending in their comments to the FCC, and they're just asking for additional with people and cities within the community. They did Dover and several other communities to just give their support. They're not asking anything from us other than our support to
And
not auction off that frequency.
and I would point out Dover Council's passing a similar resolution. It does carry more weight when it comes from a city council. I have intervened in court cases as an interested party, and that carries tremendous weight when they see that the city has an interest in something. It's the only nonprofit radio station in Tuscarawas County. It's used as an educational tool. Everybody there is a volunteer. It's also an educational place where you can go to learn. And I'm hoping that that they can eventually work with Kent. I used to teach broadcast law and ethics at Baltimore College in my younger days. And I would love to see them partner up with Kent State and use that as an arm where kids who are interested in going into the broadcast business in any way, shape, or form, any type of communications, could go there. But you're gonna lose it because it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to bid on a frequency. And this is where somebody like iHeartRadio that's got that kind of clout can come in and push the little guy out. And it does a tremendous service to our area because, and that's why I listed several of the nonprofits that it promotes and helps with. And I think it'd be a shame to lose that.
I guess I just, not in this particular instance, but before, I just real reluctant as a governmental body to pick and choose.
But we've done this many
I've
times
always
for
voted no.
various, to lend
Because
our support
just
as
my
a.
policy, or my way of thinking.
You
So
voted-
that's just my input.
Fair enough. Any other questions?
Madam Chairman, make a motion that resolution 37-2022 be adopted and rules be suspended. and passed on first reading.
I would second that.
Oh. No, you already seconded.
Yes. We'll just take a vote. Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
No.
And I'll vote yes. Anything else to come before the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Or you say so?
Yeah, he said, he was.
You're the best.
Yeah,
You're the best.
yeah.
Eyes on the road, or Greg will have.
Good evening, and I'd like to call the Safety, Health, and Service Committee to order to review Resolution 36, 2022. The Ambulance Committee met and recommended that this resolution be passed. The resolution provides for the ambulance service rates to remain the same as they were or as they are in 2022. This resolution would affect the calendar year 2023. We have discussed this. Is there any further discussion? I'm sorry. Members of the committee are Ms. May, Mr. Pace. Yeah, long day. And Ms. Ramos is the alternate. Is there any action to be taken on Resolution 36, 2022?
I'll make a motion to add Resolution 36, 2022 to tonight's agenda. Do you need it passed on first?
First reading.
And to pass on first reading?
I'll second.
And, okay, and we'll vote. Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Is there any further business to come before the committee? Is there a motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
at 7:26?
Sure.
This meeting of New Philadelphia City Council will now come to order. Would you please rise and remain standing for the invocation and pledge of allegiance? Mr. Holland.
Let's pray. Father God, thank you so for the opportunity to come together tonight to represent our community, to do the business of our community. And I thank you, Father, for those that are willing to serve in responsible positions within our community to provide guidance and direction, to look to the future for our community. We thank you, dear God, for the opportunities that we have to not only serve, but actually represent you in all that we do. Dear God, we pray for the safety of our safety forces in the community, and we thank you, Father, for watching over and caring for us. We pray these things, dear God, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Corright.
Mr. Holland.
Present.
Mr. Lonzer.
Here.
Mrs. May.
Present.
Mr. Pace.
Here.
Mrs. Ramos.
Here.
Mr. Ricklick.
Present.
Mr. Seldenright.
Let me know Mr. Sunright is excused from our meeting tonight. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here, but bear with me. You have tonight's agenda before you. Are there any additions or corrections? Ms. May,
Mr. President, I'd like to add Resolution 37, 2022 to tonight's agenda.
do I have a second? Mr. Pace, thank you. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call?
Mrs. May.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick.
Yes.
Mr. Oh.
Are there any other additions tonight? Mr. Holland,
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to add Resolution 36, 2022 to tonight's agenda.
do I have a second? Mr. May, thank you. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mrs. May.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick.
Yes.
All right, then, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda tonight with our two additions. I need a motion. Mr. Holland, thank you. Need a second?
Second.
Mr. Alonso, thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. May.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick.
Yes.
All right. Agenda has been approved. Minutes, everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from our last council meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? I entertain a motion to approve. Mr. Alonso, okay. Mr. Ramos, second, thank you. No further discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mrs. May.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Correspondence, Ms. Corright.
To Clerk of Council, and Council and Administration from Mayor Day dated November 18th, 2022. This is a forwarded email titled Use Agreements for City-Owned Property, which was originally sent by New Philadelphia School Superintendent Amy Wentworth. This email was replied to by Mr. Ricklick and Mr. Holland. To Council and Administration from Auditor Gundy, this is dated November 28th, 2022. This is an email titled AEP Bills with the attachment titled 2022 Street Lighting. And to Council and Administration dated November 28th, 2022. This is the Mayor's Report, and this is from Mayor Day. And that concludes correspondence for this evening, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Ms. Corright. Move on to our administrative reports. First up, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members, and fellow administrators. Couple of things I want to touch on from the report that I sent to you earlier today. To make you aware of a couple of strategic plans, this is for the benefit of those who are watching us right now. There's a couple of strategic plans that are being developed, and they'll be helping the city of New Philadelphia. Funds remaining from closing the New Philadelphia Business and Community Association nonprofit organization are being used to pay the Aegeus 360 consulting firm to create a strategic plan to guide downtown improvements. If you haven't already, you can share your thoughts on the improvements by taking an online survey, and you can find that link on my mayor's report. It will be posted on the city's Facebook page here tomorrow morning. A steering committee made up of business and community leaders will review the results of the survey and then use that data to develop the plan. The other strategic plan is being created to help the Tuscarawas County Economic Development and Finance Alliance, otherwise known as the Port Authority, improve its economic development efforts here in the county. Assisting in that plan's development is consultant Mark Barbish of the Ohio Economic Development Institute. He has divided the plan into 3 categories: business retention and expansion, business attraction, and entrepreneurship. I've participated in 2 days of the development sessions, and I have to tell you, I found them to be very productive. The plan that results from them should give the EDFA a clear direction for focusing its future economic development efforts here in our county. And as a reminder, the official start of the Yuletide season celebration here in New Philadelphia is this Friday, December 2nd, when the city's annual Christmas parade steps off at 6:30 p.m. on North Broadway at Tuscarora Avenue. And Santa will follow the parade units as they travel to the downtown square, then turn onto West High Avenue. And then following the parade, Santa's going to stop by the Tuscarawas County Library on Fair Avenue Northwest, where free cookies and hot chocolate will be served. And I know we're all looking forward to the return of Santa Claus to New Philadelphia. Any questions?
Questions
Thank you.
from the mayor? Thank you, Mayor Day. Move on to the service director, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I want to bring everybody up to date on Park Lane water line project. Continues to happen out there. As reported at the last meeting, we was going to get the services in out there. We did that, or that was done by Tucson. Today, they're down at the Lakeview end. There's a 12 to 6 inch tap that runs up to 7 Mile Drive, and one of them also on Park Lane that also runs up through there. So they'll cap that off. They capped that off today to make that tie-in. I just want to say, reaffirming the fact that that needed done. Crazy. Thursday, Thanksgiving, naturally everybody's home, and guess what? We have a leak, and we're not tied over to that line yet, so we had to go out and fix one last leak on that line. So, as I've said before, the way that road looks, and it did it again to us on Thursday. Tomorrow will be fully serviced off the new line, so it couldn't last 5 more days for us. So, but anyways, the guys did a great job, got it fixed on Thanksgiving. But again, it had to get us just one last time, and it did. So, like I say, so then tomorrow, Gesner from Newton's Asphalt will come in. He believes he'll grind ball tomorrow and get half of the base down, put the other half down then on Wednesday, top it all, he's hoping on Thursday. I let him know that trash day's on Thursday, so we need to leave that one side open. We'll get our guys out there at 7:30 in the morning, get that side picked up, move out of there and be out of their way. So looks like it should be all topped, and that part of that project should be done by Thursday. So much needed, and be happy to get that part done again. We all know we gotta go on North Broadway yet and make those tie-ins. Also, on December 15th, we had a Board of Control meeting to award the contract for Phase 1 of the storm sewer project at Franklin Square. And that was awarded to Woodfield Construction. They're out of Leavittsburg, Ohio. And that was in the amount of $650,332. And that was 5% under engineer's cost estimate. So got a decent price, and just to let you know, they ranged from $650. Woodfield was in around $675. Tucson was in the $690 range, and we had one that was almost $1 million. So it was encouraging that we got 4 bids, number one, because we all know that we bid out Glen Drive twice and never got anything. So again, we got very competitive bids, and it was under 5% of the engineering's estimate. So I wanted to bring that up. Also, bring up leaves that we talked about with the parade. They'll start tomorrow up on the parade route, so North Broadway will get picked up. They'll start that tomorrow and till that's finished up. And then they'll continue to do them throughout the city. But we'll get that, make sure that that's all done. Any slips or anything that need picked up on that, we'll also get that also. And then also, I know that at the last council meeting, I talked about the BCC, the Buckeye Career Center, getting that done up there. And I don't know if everybody's seen it, or with the lighting, but it turned out well. He did get it done. It was done on Thursday, but again, it's done. I talked with Mr. Vandal today and trying to massage him down the road of continuing to do a couple more of the quadrants that we need light done. So we had a good conversation about that, and hopefully we can make that happen in the next year or 2 years coming up. So again, I think it turned out well, and again, we had the cost of materials in it and a great learning experience for those kids. So, and that's the end of my report.
Any questions for Mr. Blackabeer? Thank you. Move on to Safety Director, Mr. Popham.
Thank you, Mr. President, no report.
All right, move on to Auditor, Mrs. Gundy.
I have no report, thank you.
All right, move on to Treasurer, Mr. Gerber.
No reports.
All right, got a theme going on here. All right. Law Director, Mr. Fate.
You knew I had to blow it.
Don't wreck that.
Thank you, Mr. President. My new chief prosecutor is on vacation this week when he gets back. He had a vacation scheduled before we knew that the other prosecutor was leaving. And I said, he offered to skip that. And if in their position, you either use it or lose it. And I said, well, you're taking on a big job. I says, take a vacation, come back, and we'll dig in. So I've got 2 applicants that we're going to be interviewing as soon as he gets back. I might talk to him myself beforehand and then have him sit in and ask his questions about what he needs. Today, we've got it covered between Heidi and myself. I spent the entire afternoon in the municipal court, and it was actually quite a bit of fun. The other thing that I'm asking is I'm asking for ordinance 22/2022 to be passed tonight. That is taking money from my law director's budget and moving it over to the prosecutor's budget. We had some shortfall this year because we had an unexpected increase in having to appoint special prosecutors, and I think I've addressed the reason for that recently, but my office manager in the prosecutor's office has been asking me, when do we get that money, when do we get that money? So really would appreciate if you get it passed, because we could use it. Like I said, it's not new money, it's just taking money from one place and moving it to another. I also rise in support of passage of Resolution 37/2022. I already addressed this in the committee hearing. That is in support of maintaining WDNP 102.3. That is the only nonprofit radio station that we have in Tuscarawas County. It is staffed by an all-volunteer staff. It is tremendous in terms of promoting and advocating, not just promoting, but advocating for other nonprofits in our area, and there's several of them listed in the resolution that I drafted. And something that a lot of people don't know is that it's also an educational tool. Those who are interested in coming and learning about radio broadcast, anybody's welcome. But I know they've had some kids come in there that are college kids that are very interested in that, and I'd love to see them in the future partner with Kent State to do that. I used to, as an adjunct professor, used to teach broadcast law and ethics, so I think that'd be tremendous for our area. But this is the time for public commentary, and I believe that we give a greater voice to maintaining a valuable community asset by supporting this resolution tonight. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Fate.
Thank you.
Move on to our commission reports. First up, Planning Commission, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Planning Commission is scheduled to meet on Tuesday, December 13th at 1 p.m. here in council chambers, provided we have something on the agenda.
Okay. All right, Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. McAbeer.
I'm just checking my dates, because I had a different date for that, so he had the 13th.
That's what,
And he is right. I wrote down the wrong date, so Board of Zoning Appeals would be December 13th at 5 PM here in council chambers. That's all. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, move on to the Park Board, Mr. Pace.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right, move on to Health Board, Mr. Holland.
Thank you, Mr. President. No formal report this evening. The Health Board will be meeting December the 14th at noon here in council chambers.
All right, thank you. Move on to our committee reports. Finance, Mr. Ricklick.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met this evening at 5:30 PM. We had two items on the agenda, the budget for 2023. We were fortunate enough to get through the budget. We have directed the law director to draw up the legislation and to have it ready for our December 12th meeting. The second item on the agenda was the sale of the fire ladder truck. That was discussed that we have been sold, just need the legislation, and had advised the law director to also draw up the legislation for the sale of that truck and have it ready for our December 12th meeting. The other item here is we'll have a meeting scheduled for next council meeting on December 12th at 6:45 PM to discuss the adjustment of the 2023 budget. The meeting was adjourned at 6:48 PM. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, any questions, Mr. Ricklick? Now we move on to Public Works and Economic Development. Mr. Lunzer.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right. Safety, Health and Services, Mr. Holland.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Safety, Health, and Services Committee met here in council chambers this evening at 7:25 to review Resolution 36, 2022. The resolution was recommended by the Ambulance Committee to maintain the ambulance service rates for 2023 as they are in the current fiscal year. Meeting adjourned at 7:26.
All right. Any questions from Mr. Holland? All right, move on to zoning and annexation, Mrs. Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder that on the next meeting, December 12th at 7 PM, we're going to have a meeting regarding annexation of 2 parcels on Commercial Avenue Southwest.
All right, move on to Cemetery Committee, Mr. Pace.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right. Contact and Special, Mrs. May.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee met this evening at 7:10 PM regarding Resolution 37, 2022, which is a resolution in support of maintaining WDNP 102.3 FM as a local nonprofit community radio station. The committee voted to add that resolution to tonight's agenda and suspend the rules to pass on first reading.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, move on to visitors' comments. I don't see any visitors here tonight, so we'll move on to council comments. Any council member have any comments they wish to make this evening? If not, move on to the legislative agenda. Ms. Courtwright.
Ordinance number 22, 2022, an ordinance by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Ohio, amending and adjusting the permanent appropriations ordinance for the year 2022 and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this legislation tonight? Mr. Ricklick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that we suspend the rules for ordinance 22, 2022.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Pace, thank you. Any discussion by administration or council? Roll call.
Mr. Ricklick.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. May.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Okay, rules have been suspended. Mr. Ricklick.
Mr. President, we ask to pass ordinance 22, 2022. Let's see.
Do I Do I have a second? Mr. Pace, thank you. Any discussion by the community, administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Ricklick.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. May.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 2022 has passed.
Resolution number 28, 2022, a resolution by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, adopting the Tuscarawas County 2022 Hazard Mitigation Plan as the official hazard mitigation plan of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this legislation tonight? Hearing none, be held for an next scheduled council meeting.
Resolution number 34, 2022, a resolution by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, approving the Stark, Tuscarawas, Wayne Joint Solid Waste Management District's 2023 Solid Waste Management Plan update and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this legislation tonight? All right, hearing none, be held for next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Resolution number 35, 2022, a resolution authorizing the Ohio Mid-Eastern Governments Association, Omega, to serve as the lead technical assistance grant applicant for the Appalachian Community Grant Program in Tuscarawas County and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this legislation tonight? Mr. Lonzer?
Yes, I move that the rules be suspended on Resolution 35, 2022.
Do I have a second? Mr. Pace, thank you. Any discussion of administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. May?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick?
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Lonzer?
Yes, I move that we pass Resolution 35, 2022 tonight.
Do I have a second? Mr. Pace, thank you. Any discussion by community, administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. May?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick?
Yes.
All right, resolution has passed.
Resolution number 36, 2022, a resolution by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to authorize a rate increase for ambulance services provided by the New Philadelphia Fire Department for the calendar year 2023 and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this legislation tonight? Mr. Holland?
Mr. President, I would move that resolution 36, 2022, the rules be suspended.
Do I have a second? Mrs. Mays? Any discussion by administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. May?
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick?
All
Yes.
right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Holland?
Pardon me, Mr. President. I would move that resolution 36, 2022 be passed.
Do I have a second? Mrs. May, thank you. All right, any discussion by community, administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. May?
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick?
Yes.
All right, resolution 36, 2022 has passed.
Resolution number 37, 2022, a resolution in support of maintaining WDNP 102.3 FM as a local nonprofit community radio station and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this legislation tonight? Mrs. May?
Mr. President, I ask that we suspend the rules on resolution 37, 2022.
Mr. Ricklick?
Second.
All right, discussion by administration, council, roll call?
Mrs. May?
Yes.
Mr. Ricklick?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. I would entertain a motion to pass 37, 2022. Mrs. May?
I ask that resolution 37, 2022 be passed.
All right, do we have a second? Mr. Ricklick, thank you. Any discussion by community, administration, council, roll call?
Mrs. May?
Yes.
Mr. Rickliff?
Yes.
Mr. Holland?
Yes.
Mr. Lonzo?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
No.
All right, 37-2022 has passed.
That concludes legislation for this evening, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Courtright. Is there any unfinished old business that you brought before council tonight? Is there any new business that you brought before council tonight? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President.
2020.
We had a wonderful Thanksgiving, looking forward to Christmas, and I would move that we adjourn this meeting of the New Philadelphia City Council.
Thank you, Mr.
He's
Holland.
gonna lose his pro tem.
7:55, we adjourn.
We're all drinking tonight.